Because I live at Jurong West, so normally I take the MRT from Pioneer to Tampines, and then I change it to bus 69 to come to school.
On the way to school, I like to read.
Usually I do my assignments and also tutorial work on the bus.
It takes like about an hour and a half, my house to Temasek Poly. I could see TP at a distance and it was like, wow, this school is so much bigger than secondary school.
There's so much zest in the school, and also everyone looks so fashionable.
Making friends, the lecturers, everyone was so friendly and welcoming.
Hello, I'm Xavier. I graduated from TP's Diploma in Psychology Studies.
Was doing a diploma in cyber and digital security.
Diploma in Business Process and Systems Engineering.
Diploma of Applied Food Science and Nutrition.
Product Industrial Design in the year of 2013.
I'm a year 3 student in Temasek Poly studying Communications and Media Management.
There are definitely a lot of hands-on experience in TP. There's a lot of lab work, a lot of practicals, and a lot of putting what we learn into action.
Yeah, we got to create this whole entire radio show by ourselves. It's very useful for us because we need those things for projects and producing content of our own.
I managed to go on 2 school trips. One was the 10th University Scholars Leadership Symposium, where uni students from all over the world came together to KL, Malaysia. So you get to see delegates from all over the world speak about common issues.
Overseas internship program. I was tasked to actually do a tsunami simulation program where we had to calculate the wave forces and come up with solutions to break the wave forces.
I was a digital marketing intern there at MediaCorp. I actually got to deal with a lot of data analytics.
Ministry of Health, and I was part of the Primary and Community Care Division.
I joined TP Ambassadors. It's given me a lot of opportunities to meet new people and create new content, put me out of my comfort zone.
TP offers the Specialist Diploma in Gerontology, Studying of Aging, and Perspectives on Aging.
I was lucky enough to actually have 2 graduations in Temasek Poly, one being the Diploma in Cybersecurity and the second was actually a Specialist Diploma in Big Data Analytics. I did an interview with a company called Accenture, and it was kind of like a part-time schooling and then full-time working as a full-time employee. I used to come back to school every semester, maybe about a week or so. I did it in 2016 and I graduated 2017.
A strong contribution to the work I've accomplished would be the TP alumni. There's this sense of pride and camaraderie where when they know that you are from TP, they will open up doors for you.
I'm still friends with a lot of my classmates today, and I am still in touch with most of my lecturers even today.
With the many opportunities that TP has given their students.
By inspiring the next generation of creators.
To prepare them for the workforce.
By giving its students opportunities for growth, Temasek Poly encourages its students in creating tomorrow.
And that is how TP is creating tomorrow.
Yeah. We the best, no contest. There ain't no one like us, are you dumb or you crazy? There's no way, G. Me and my clique, we handling biz while you and your clique just act full gaze.
Well, today I'm going to have a tryout with the Dragon Boat team in Temasek Polytechnic. They are a very strong team and won many polite games and at the national level as well. So I'm going to see whether I have the chops to keep up with them. Okay? Yes. Alright.
So what's the highest number of pull-ups that anyone can do in the Dragon Boat team?
So the men's, the highest is 43.
43, oh, not bad. Then girls,
Ladies?
Yeah. 16. Oh, okay. Very strong.
The text box, I get paid.
Row your boat gently down the stream.
Are you ready? Attention! Go!
Yeah, so experience is great. I've always wondered what the Dragon Boaters are doing, and I've tried Dragon Boating a few times. So it's a wonderful experience to be able to row together with them. Can feel the team spirit. Can feel that the hard training that they've gone through because it was them pushing me along. The most challenging part of it, I suppose, was keeping up with the paddling, with the strokes. So just to make sure that I'm in tempo and making sure that I don't get out of sync with the rowing, because Dragon Boating is all about teamwork, right? So you need to paddle together. Well, come and experience what the TP vibrancy is about. Dragon Boating is just one of our more than 100 CCAs that we have to offer to you as part of our vibrant campus life. Of course, beyond our vibrant campus life, we also work very hard to make sure that we prepare you well for work and for life. So please come and experience what TP has to offer in terms of the courses through the TP Open House. Yeah, so come and join us. 3, 2, 1, TP! Stop! Come. Give me your heart. Give me your heart. Okay.
Hi, I'm Anita, and I'm really quite excited today because I'm going to be joining the Temasek Poly Dance Ensemble. Why am I excited? Well, I want to confirm whether I do actually have 2 left feet. Let's find out. Hello! like this. Oh.
So the choreo is going to be a little bit faster. It's going to be boom, pa. You know, skip, skip, skip. Yeah! Like that, great. Yeah, so.
The first one is the hands is what? Swing from
Left to right.
clockwise. Oh, it's like shoot the arrow.
Yeah.
Say it lah. Then comes the chest this way.
Chest in.
And then the hand is now the arrow go the other way.
Yeah.
So, 1 and 2
and out.
Oh. But it won't look very nice if you simplify it because you're supposed to be like super pro, right? It's just,
This is a mindset.
So from here,
kick. And then your right leg is a little bit forward.
Oh, okay.
So when you kick, right, you don't go back here.
Okay.
You go front a little bit. Then your hands, your left hand is going to go to your ear. Your right hand is going to go around here. And then you're going to like a DJ.
You say make to say lah.
Ready? Just do that twice. So maybe from here.
How did I feel after the dance? Tired, but so accomplished. The most challenging part was honestly the coordination. I mean, the hands, the legs. I mean, I really had 2 left feet. The most enjoyable part was really being with the students, that energy, and then the patience that they had when teaching me the steps. I mean, that I really take my hat off to them. Kudos. You know, I had so much fun with TPDE, and if you want to have this kind of fun and more, remember to come down because we've got more than 100 CCAs. Check them all out at TP Open House. Come.
I'm hungry, let's go. Let's go.
The first thing will be, of course, can Poly actually have a better opening for her to go uni? Is it going to be difficult? Because I believe maybe JC students has a better access to uni, which after a while realized that I'm wrong.
I'm just taking a gap year before I apply to uni, an overseas uni, if not SUPD or NUS, because those are the only 2 schools that offer architecture.
No, I think it's been pretty tough, really hard. I think it's a very hard course in IT, but with like enough determination, I guess you can overcome all this. Yeah. All her time is more in school. I rarely see her around, but I know she's in school because you know, she will come back all tired. And I know there's some of the stuff based on her course, she needs to be in school to get her things settled, and sometimes the program or the software is not, they can't really download from the laptop and all that. And also she's very active. If after exam, she will say something like, oh, I've got, after exam will be performances. There will be, this and that. So I'm like, okay, it's like she's busy the whole year. So I'll have to tell her in advance, okay, you want to go holiday, can you please put aside that time? That kind of thing. So she's very, very busy.
No, actually, I came from JC, but I was very clear that I wanted my son to go to Poly because he was very clear what he didn't want. And so whatever he did want, it would have been a very long road if he has gone to JC and then university after that. And I wanted him to try out without having to sort of like commit to a particular industry. I thought, why not give him a chance, to try out accountancy, to try out finance, and if he doesn't like that, he can still go branch off into other areas of business with that diploma. So I wanted him to have a feel of the industry and know what he's actually getting into. So I was in full support of EAE.
Right before the application period, I came across my current diploma, and I thought maybe this would be a safer option because it has both aspects of business and engineering, right?
So yeah, I think that is like a very good safety net for me.
I know she doesn't want to do anything else, but only that course. So knowing that it's been secured, I guess I rest my case.
In secondary school, I always felt that EAE was a really good way to sort of mitigate any additional stress from my O-levels results. And I already knew I wanted to join accountancy and finance at the time. So I just felt that EAE would be a way where I can both show my passion for the subject and for accountancy and finance, while also reducing my stress towards my studies for my O-levels, so there wasn't so much pressure in me performing well.
I went to search out all my previous competitions and certificates that is related to IT in general, so that I can put it in my EAE portfolio and like show that I have like some kind of like skills or whatever that is related to IT, so they'll be more keen to look at my application. Yeah.
I think it's important to align your interests with the diploma of your interest. So first of all, it's definitely to read up about the diploma, the course, the school, which polytechnic you're going, and then see where your interest lies. So maybe it's aerospace, then you'll go to, maybe you can apply to aerospace engineering, aviation management.
Okay, so to any of you guys in Sec 4 who are still contemplating if you want to do AE or not, whether you should just do it, I really suggest that you guys do it. It's really important holistically in terms of it helps you develop, it helps you explore new opportunities, it really puts you out of your comfort zone, and it's something that you really strive for. And honestly speaking, there is really no harm to doing it, because whether you get it or not, that's secondary, but it's about putting in the effort and about trying something new. And maybe you want to prove to yourself that, hey, if I want to set this milestone and I want to achieve this, I can do it if I just put necessary steps in. So yeah.
For potential parents, I would say definitely support your child, but before that you would need to talk to your child, find out their interests, because if the interest is not there, then they will not sustain the course. So it's always important to find out what your child likes. You can speak with the ECG counselor of your school, to help them to sort of like, maybe, sort of like, pinpoint exactly what they might be interested in, and just support them. And like, my son said that even if you do not, come through with the EAE with the acceptance letter, but having made that journey of the interview process of writing the character statements and all that, that in itself really helps your child to focus on what he or she might really want later on in life. And I think it's a very important experience.
Want to know more about TP?
Follow us.
What are you guys doing?
Yes, go! Come join us at TP.
Good morning, everyone. For those who are kindly waiting outside the auditorium, please make your way inside so that we can begin the seminar at 9:15. And for those who are already inside, please kindly move in and fill up all the available seats, as we are expecting a full house today, so that we can ensure that everyone has a place in this auditorium. Your cooperation and understanding are greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. For those of you who are still outside the auditorium, please do start making your way in so that we can start the seminar at 9:15. Thank you very much. And for those of you who are seated, please do stay in your seats and get ready.
Good morning, everyone. Gentle reminder to those who are still outside the auditorium, do make your way inside so that we can begin the seminar shortly. And for those who are already inside, do move in and fill up all the available seats because we are expecting a full house today, and so that we can help everyone find a place in this auditorium. Thank you.
Good morning. For those of you who are still outside the auditorium, please do start making your way in. And for the rest of you, do fill up the seats as we are expecting a full house today. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. For those who are still outside the auditorium, do kindly come in and join us inside the auditorium so that we may begin the seminar shortly. And for those of you who are already inside, do fill up the available seats so that we can help everyone find a place in this auditorium. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. We're expecting a full house today, so it would be great if everyone could just move in and fill up all the available seats so that we can help ensure that everyone can find a place in this auditorium. Our student ushers are around to help you if you're confused of where to sit. And thank you so much. Your understanding and cooperation are greatly appreciated. Thank you.
A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our EAE Seminar. Get ready with TP. I'm Kristen, a newly minted design graduate from the Diploma in Digital Film and Television.
And I'm Shauki, a third-year engineering student from the Diploma in Aerospace Electronics, and we'll be your MCs for today.
Before we begin today's event, may we kindly request that you switch all electronic devices to the silent mode, please. Just for everyone's knowledge, you are seated according to your choice of school tours later today. Please remain in your seats at the end of the seminar. Our ushers will be around to lead you out of the TCC according to your chosen ACAD school. Now, we would like to take this time to draw your attention to the locations of emergency exits in the convention center. The exits at this level, level 3, are indicated in blue. They are located on both sides and behind the hall on this floor. The exits at the upper deck, level 4, are indicated in green. In an evacuation, please follow the arrows shown on screen towards the exits. Our ushers will help direct you to the nearest exit. Please evacuate in an orderly manner and do not use the lifts.
Once you are out of the building, please follow our ushers' instructions and walk briskly towards the assembly area at the field next to the swimming pool as indicated in the red circle on the screen. Please do not deviate from this route as there may be a need to account for you. Also, please do not drive out of the premises as you may hinder emergency vehicles that will be arriving. Do note that there are no planned emergency evacuation drills today, so if there is a need to evacuate, it is for real.
To kick things off for today's seminar, we have our Deputy Principal, Ms. Anita Kwan, who will be sharing more about how you can create your best tomorrow with TP. Ms. Kwan, please.
Okay, is my mic on? Great! Very warm welcome and good morning to you, those online as well. I hear that you all have very good makan out there, so I hope that that's kept you satiated. Anyway, love to see so many of you here today, and rightly so, you are really first off the mark, getting ready. I want to just give a quick intro about TP. We call Temasek Poly, that's our fond name for it, TP, right? So whenever I say TP, that means Temasek Poly. So we are 35 years old this year, and we are created on a mission of preparing learners for a future of dynamic change. And that resonates even more today, as you can imagine, because it's such a complex world, things are changing even more rapidly than before. So this mission has never changed, and in fact, it's taken a greater resonance. So you're very, very right to be here getting ready, because if you look at the early admissions exercise, we look at our medal winners. At the Polytechnic level, at the recent graduation, we gave away 11 awards. And out of the 11 awards, 3 came from the EAE route. And I was asking my director of academic admissions, his name is Chun Ling, he'll be coming up later. I said, hey, what about the other course medals, the gold, the silver, the bronze? He said, wow, EAE overrepresented. So, why is this so? Not surprising, because those who apply under EAE, generally, these are the people who are very passionate about a particular area, got aspiration, and because of this, these people tend to do well. So if you fall into this category, wow, worth getting up early on a Saturday morning. Okay, so we'll be touching a little bit about our facilities, how we are going global, and also our industry partnership. Okay, so in a nutshell, we've got 6 academic schools, and this one, Chun Ling is going to take you through in greater detail. So I won't delve too much into this, but just to give you a feel about how we are structured here in TP. Okay, why do I start with this thing we call the TSP, or the TP student profile? In the past, we always focus on academic, study, right? And so much into the domain area. But if you follow the education trend, and also we have a lot of feedback from industry, what industry is saying is, yeah, we know your students very good in the domain area, top notch. But I think if you want to make them succeed more, we're looking for the life skills. Sometimes we call them human skills. the word that has been bandied about, soft skills. I mean, personally, I don't quite like soft skills because the soft skills have become even more important these days. Communication skills, critical thinking, resilience, right? So that's why we have created this thing we call the TP student profile. Every student who comes into TP will leave with these attributes. And the best way for me to be explaining this is to actually share the profile of one of our Poly level award winners. His name is Jun Yang. Okay, so what's his story? His story is he shared with us that, when I was in school, I was an outstanding student. Why outstanding? Because I was always standing outside the classroom as punishment. So he came and applied to various admission routes and couldn't get in. So thankfully, our lecturers were able to spot his potential, and TP gave him a chance. Come in, join us. And what happened when he came in? He was motivated because his peers were hardworking. And under the guidance of our lecturers, care persons are the ones we assign to students. So every student who comes in will have a care person who will take care or walk alongside the student for the 3 years here in Polytechnic. So under the guidance, he also realized that, I also want to be motivated. And actually, my parents sacrifice a lot, So why am I wasting my life? So that moment, he woke up, and then he started to explore other avenues. Volunteering, okay? TP Cares is something that is in our DNA. Because what's the point of being the top of the league, top in your area, but you don't give back to the community? Use your skills. So volunteered, and his internship opportunity at Oracle came up. That was another transformational moment for him, where he used his analytics application. He realized that he could actually make a difference. So why do I bring this up in terms of the TP student profile? If you look at the attributes, this is exactly what we wanted him to develop, and this is exactly what he walked out of TP with. Right? So increasingly, it's become important. If you look at the Skills Future website, you will also recognize this as a critical core skills. So we're not only looking at the domain area, we're looking at holistically developing our students. So it's a giant task that we're after. And what does a practice-based pedagogy mean in TP? I think no surprises if you look at all these elements. Go global, the world out there, trade wars. Read the news and you know that no way Singapore can remain in a vacuum, so very important for this global awareness. Industry partnerships, obviously, we're training for the industry. So we have industry touch points everywhere in our school advisory committees and internships. Industry partners also come to help us develop the curriculum so that it becomes as real as it can be. So applied learning, everyone knows that this is the hallmark of our Polytechnic education. Culture of care I've already talked about, TP Cares. In fact, yesterday we just had what we call the Campus Care Network Day, because this is where the whole community will come together to raise funds so that every student who needs that financial aid will be able to see through the Polytechnic education. No one gets left behind. So again, mobilizing the whole community. Sorry, one last thing is about personalized learning. With technology, we can do so much. So now the direction is towards every single student. When we pay attention to you, we know exactly what you need to succeed, what are the top-ups you need, more quizzes, maybe you need to download a subject because it's too heavy for you. So it's really customized and personalized to the student. I won't dwell too much into our facilities, but again, there's a lot of investment that goes into all these facilities. When you go on your school tours, these may be on the itinerary, but if they're not and you have a particular interest, please go and ask the school. Okay? Okay, this is the best part, I think, if you ask students, what do they remember of their time in TP? usually is this lah, the CCA, the fun part. And it goes back to the student profile and the critical core skills, right? This is where, you know, they learn to work in teams, learn to manage tensions, arguments, and also to develop their innate interest in arts and sports. We know that the bonds that are created in poly really will last through life. Okay. Again, a snapshot of the industry partners. You will recognize many names there, and they continue to really work very actively with us. Okay. Some examples, aviation, aeronautics, this is a growth area. Okay, and we really have our feet very firmly grounded on this. We continue to see a lot of interest in this space. Okay, so we have tied up with Lufthansa for this technical training. Yeah. And in terms of industry partners, okay, food lah. Everyone likes to talk about food. It's a good time to join this program because we've got an entirely new dining restaurant, a very high level. By the way, it's open to the public, so you can also come and make your bookings and all that. So, winner of many awards. And the good thing about this industry partner, the very renowned faculty of the Culinary Institute of America, they run a degree program here, you know, with SIT, but their faculty will also come and mentor our students. And this is our latest. You may have caught it in the news a couple of days ago. It's about marrying of different areas. So we are very conscious about interdisciplinary learning, not just, oh, you do this diploma, you come to this job. But in this particular case, there's food and nutrition, there's gerontology, you know, all, and then, you know, there's coming together with the industry partner. And we know for sure in 4 years' time, we're going, 5 years' time, there's going to be 25%, a quarter of our population is going to be age 65 and above. So, you know, when we tie up with industry partners, there's also a reason why we go into certain growth areas and emerging areas. Okay, so these are just some of the examples to show the diverse student profiles that we have. Going to Cambridge, okay? So if you're a top performing student and you want to achieve your dreams at universities, whether locally or abroad, we will help you with that. We also look at those with special needs, right? Rafaela, for example, was last year's Most Outstanding Overcomer Award. She's now in NTU, and she's got a really lifelong debilitating disease, you know, where her muscle turns into bone, and she's just always in pain, and you know, but throughout the life, her life in TP, this is how we supported her. Right. Okay, so sports is a big thing here. A lot of sportsmen, national sportsmen, and this one is a swimmer, like to come to TP because when I talked about personalized learning, what we try and do is, because you have to go for all these competitions, we try and make time for you to achieve in that area, knowing that, you know, study is not everything, but study is important, so we make sure that you're able to manage your academic load, right? Crystal, going in IKEA, maybe I talk a little bit about entrepreneurship. So we have this thing called the launch pad here, where we also encourage our students who are a little bit more entrepreneurial to develop their own businesses. So there's a space here where we provide mentorship in getting grants. If you want to set up a business, what do you do? You know, so that's that kind of support. And we're talking about AI, that's the big thing, right? So we've got AI in all our courses. And in fact, Amanda is the one who is in the AI space. That's what she's working on in Oracle. Okay, so in terms of going global, we talked about how global education is a big thing. And indeed, this again is a snapshot of the places that we have been to. Okay, may not have time. Okay, all these 4 countries. Again, it's not like go anywhere, go anytime, you know. It's about very specially curated trips, be it industry trips, community service trips, to go and represent someone, an industry. In fact, I just got word yesterday that the students who are currently in Osaka, you know, there's a World Expo there. You know, it's a combination between Japan and Singapore and Vietnam. Okay, the students are there at the World Expo, and they're getting a lot of interest in their project there. So, there are so many opportunities, and what we do here is we mobilize the whole TP community. Because we have so many trips, we even get our non-academic staff, that means the admin staff, to help to go on these trips and jaga the kids because obviously when you have so many people going, we cannot just let the students out there loose. So even our non-academic staff have bought into this. They realize they are part of this larger education system. Okay, so we try to give as many opportunities as possible. Again, a snapshot about the many awards. While I can go on the whole day to talk about all the awards that we have won. Okay, and this is really to mention Crowbar, because this one we always get when I go out to industry, they say, hey, please lah, TP, give chance lah. You win 8 times, give the rest of us chance, But what to do if, the judges decide that TP is the winner lah. So Crowbar is quite a big thing. World Skills, the other thing that's worth mentioning, because World Skills, and we've won a lot of awards, World Skills is like the Olympic of trade. So this is again something we give an opportunity to our students to participate in this. So I will end my segment here by showing this. Ultimately, what is important to us as much as academics, it's a thing we call TP Fam. Students who have come to us, will always come back. That is a picture of 2 people who met here in TP. They came back to take their wedding photo. Every other month, we will have requests, can we come back? We met here, very sentimental, we want to take picture in TP. Of course, so that's a wonderful thing about the TP Fam. I'm sure you're interested in finding out more about the nuts and bolts of how to do the application, and I'll invite Chun Ling to come up to take us through the next part. Chun Ling is like a walking encyclopedia. He knows everything from A to Z, so over to you, Chun Ling.
Okay, thank you, Anita. I'm not really a walking encyclopedia. Very often, I have to know a bit more because my bosses are asking me questions. So yesterday, Anita texted me in the morning and said, how many of our top award winners were from EAE? So I say, it's not that I know, but I told her, okay, let me check it out and get back to you. So I had to spend the whole morning digging out the data and checking. And Anita shared about how 3 of our top Polytechnic level award winners, and these are the very, very top students in terms of academics as well as all-rounded achievements, were from EAE. And beyond that, as I was looking through the data further, later part of the morning, there was some very interesting information that came out from it. First of all, we give to every diploma, the very top student, the gold medal in terms of results. Then the second student will get the silver medal, third student will get the bronze medal. And these medals are given out in collaboration with our partners. And when I was looking through the list and looking at the EAE graduates, I found that the diploma in apparel design and merchandising, and we have since renamed it to fashion management and design, the top 3 students of that course, gold, silver, and bronze, came through EAE, okay? And when I look at psychology, psychology is a course, psychology studies, is a course that's extremely competitive. When it comes to JAE, we are talking about a cutoff point for the 5 subjects, 9 points and below, okay? And guess what? The most recent batch of psychology study students, the very top student, gold medal student, came from EAE. Apart from that, the second top student, silver medalist, also came from EAE. And we are talking about a group of students who we take in through EAE who have been accepted based on aptitude and passion for the course, and not just based on academics. When we look at your EAE application, we're not going to be looking at your Set 4 mid-year exam results. We're not going to be looking at your Set 3 year-end school level results. We're going to be looking at evidences that you can display in line with your aptitude and passion for the course. And in the case of psychology studies, in the case of integrated, our interior architecture and design, in the case of culinary and catering management and many other courses, we are looking at the top 1, 2, or 3 of our graduates who came in through EAE. And this is something that we have seen year on year. Our EAE crop has always produced top results. And that's why Temasek Polytechnic every year will be most aggressive when it comes to EAE. We are most aggressive in terms of reaching out to you, and we are most aggressive in terms of offering places to as many students as we can make offers to. Okay, let me get on to the details. Now, at this point, some students may say, I'm not too sure as yet which particular diploma I would like to get into. For example, if you're interested in something related to business, you may say, I'm not sure whether I will want to specialize in hospitality and tourism management now. I'm not sure whether I'm into marketing as yet. Maybe I'm interested in accountancy and finance, but I'm not too sure yet. Well, for each and every group of courses that we have a common entry program. Okay? So this is a very good course to go into first, and you can apply for it through EAE, apart from all the other diplomas, where you can come in first, do a common set of foundation subjects as those who come in into the more specialized diploma, and be given that extra time over 1 semester or 2 semesters to learn the foundational subjects, go through the ECG, Educational and Career Guidance, before you make a decision on which particular diploma to move on to. Okay, so you can see we have a common science program, a common design program, common business program, common engineering program, and common ICT. But of course, apart from this, you have all the other diplomas available for you for application. So, as I mentioned, more time, acquire that strong foundation, learn more about the career opportunities, and based on your 2 keywords, based on your aptitude and your passion, then make a decision at a later stage. So what's EAE? EAE caters to 2 groups of applicants. One will be those who are quite certain, who are keen on an area of applied learning. You're very interested in sciences, you're good in your mathematics, or you're interested in humanities, or through your own personal pursuit, you have gained an interest and a passion for a particular area of study. Come and join us through EAE. Okay? The other group of students we are interested to reach out to will be those who have done well in your CCA, as well as your involvement within school or outside of school. We are very interested in students who are able to demonstrate their leadership abilities, their involvement in entrepreneurship, or community service. Okay, so all that come into play. Okay, as you all know, I believe by now, the dates, if you're not sure, just take a snapshot. It is also available on our website. So application for those from Set 4 or Set 5, please take note, when you go off for your June holidays, your EAE application starts on the Thursday of your last week of June break. Okay? So remember to put in your application. You will have all the way up till the Wednesday of the first week of term 3 to submit your application. It is not on a first come, first served basis. So take your time, prepare your write-up, and then you put in your submission, just put it in before the deadline. Those of you in final year ITE studies, you have the application starting earlier, 12 to 18, so that you can finish off application before you have your break. We will be calling a group of students based on their applications. We will shortlist a group to come in to do the aptitude test. Sometimes what we do is we invite all applicants for a course to take the aptitude test first, but we will put them through an interview sometime in July into early part of August. We will not drag all the way to September, although the timeline is given. We will finish off our interview within July or early part of August. Okay? we will not be able to call in all applicants for interview, so it will be a select group, a shortlisted group. Then applicants, please remember to go in to the same application portal on the 9th of September to check your result. This is most important because you need to, if you're offered a place, you need to go in and accept the place. Okay? If you forgot to go in to accept it, then the place is lost. So you must go back into the application portal on the 9th of September through to 12th, put in and indicate an acceptance of the place. Okay? Now, what happens after you have accepted? If you're offered and you accepted, the place is confirmed, but you will have all the way up till later part of October to make a decision whether you want to still hold on to the place. So you do have a choice. If you have been preparing for O-levels exam, and along the way you change your mind, you can actually withdraw after acceptance. Okay, but if you do not withdraw, then the place is locked in. Okay, let's get to the mechanics. First of all, applications. At the point of application, there will be 3 choices. That 3 choices can come from within the same polytechnic. It can be across polytechnics. It can be within a particular field of study. It can be across different fields of studies. Within the application, for each application, there is a 600-character write-up. Okay, not 600 words, but 600 characters, as in each letter, each space is a character. Okay, so 600 characters is more than sufficient. What do you do? Tell us more about why you're applying for that course, why you're interested in it, what have you done in pursuit of that interest, or have you done something related to it, whether it be a subject in secondary school, a CCA, or you've done some part-time work. Just briefly tell us that. Okay, no need to go into too much details. Of course, you can prepare all that ahead. You can put it through ChatGPT, refine it. Just don't get ChatGPT to create something that is not you. Okay, but put what you have done, create your own write-up, put it through ChatGPT if you want to refine it. Then you do your submission. 3 application courses, 3 write-ups. Okay, can they be the same write-up? Yes, if there are 3 similar courses. But if they are somewhat different, please give us different write-up because it will look a bit odd if you're applying one design course, the other one is a business course, for the write-up to be the same. Okay, so the write-up will be useful for us to understand more about you and your interest in the course. Some examples of write-up. Okay, if you want, you can take a snapshot. If not, come to our TP website. The examples are also there. So what do you do in the write-up? As I mentioned, tell us what you have done related to the course that you're applying for. In this case, this student is interested in something related to business or marketing, and it can be something simple as you have run a store in secondary school fun fair, as simple as that. But more importantly, what is it that you have learned from that involvement? It can be a simple thing as working in McDonald's or in Starbucks, but what is it that you have learned from the experience that is related to the course? So take some time, reflect, think about it. What can you bring in to strengthen your application? Okay? Another example, someone who is interested in sciences and have been involved in CCA as well. So the interest in sciences, your interest in psychology studies, and you can express that in something as simple as telling us what is it that you have done on your own. You have been watching YouTube videos, you have been reading websites more about your area of interest, you have been exploring certain things on your own. All these are useful, and you can capture that in certain essence and put it into your application write-up. Okay? Okay, then of course, your involvement outside of studies will be useful as well. Tell us more about that. Good. Okay, let's move on to the next stage. Application is stage 1. After you put in the application, Within Temasek Polytechnic, our staff were taking all the applications, then they will run through the applications. Sometimes what they do is they may call all applicants, first, second, and third choices, to come in, do an aptitude test. Then from there, they will shortlist another group for interview. Sometimes, because the application numbers are large, then they may shortlist first before they invite them for aptitude tests and interviews. So in all this, what are we interested in? We're interested to look at your aptitude for the course, that field of study. We're interested in how you demonstrate how you're able to demonstrate your interest and passion for the course. We're going to go beyond your academic results, as I mentioned earlier on. We are not interested in your secondary school mid-year, year-end exam results, because sometimes certain schools may be more strict than others. However, let me put a qualifier here. However, if you're applying for our courses in School of Applied Science, okay, then, of course, we need to see that you're doing okay for sciences. Got the idea? Because it's related to aptitude. If you're applying for courses in IT, in engineering, then we want to be assured that you're doing well, at least in mathematics. Okay? But we're not going to go into the specific of comparing one student's grade to another student's grade, because it's very difficult to do so across secondary schools. But at least we need to have an understanding of how you're coping with the related subjects. Okay, let's move on. When we reach out to you after your application period, please look out for emails that will be sent to you. Okay, that's our main way of communication to you. Check in your application that you're putting the emails correctly, and this will be the email that we'll be using to reach out to you. And when we reach out to you for interviews and aptitude tests, we will send you an email. We'll provide a link for you to go into a portal, and in that portal, you'll be asked to provide certain basic information. Okay, it's an AI chatbot portal where we're going to be interacting with you through the AI chatbot. Assessments are all done by humans, okay? It'll be done by our academic staff, but a big part of the communications will be done through the AI chatbot, okay? So we'll provide in our interaction with you all the important dates and links for aptitude tests, for interviews. Good. If you're called up for interviews, these are some tips. Come early, come prepared, okay? What do you mean by prepared? No need to memorize things. Just come ready to share. Come with your portfolio. Interview is for the purpose of getting to know you. It is not a test. We're going to be testing. We are not going to test you on knowledge specific to the area, but we are interested to at least understand your interests and your general knowledge in a sense, okay? So it's a time for us to get to know you, a chance for you to share more about yourself, about your interests in that course. Some examples of what we're going to be asking for. For the portfolio, you can start thinking about it. For those who are interested in our design courses, in our IT courses, please start preparing your portfolio. For you, the portfolio will be evidences of your creative work, your evidences related to what you have done, related to IT, whether you have created some apps or done some coding and applied it in some way. Prepare all that, okay? It can be an online document, online evidence, or it can be hard copy. For all other courses, what would it be for the portfolio? It could be certificate of achievements, certificate of participations. Please do not ask your secondary school teachers or IT teachers for testimonial. We do not want testimonial from secondary schools because they look very much the same across for all students. So we don't want that. It is of not much of a use for us. But we are interested more in other things, okay? If you have done some part-time work, and evidence of that will be useful. And if you have done some training courses, a certificate to show that will be useful as well. most important, all that I've said and much, much more can be found in our EAE guide. Please check this out. We are going to be sharing a lot. In fact, we have shared a lot in our EAE guide, and it's down to individual diploma, meaning that if you're interested in the diploma in engineering, go and check out our EAE guide, because we have inside it specific details of what we look out for interviews, aptitude tests, for that particular diploma. Okay, so very useful tips. Go to our EAE guide and you can check out a lot more details there. Let me finish off with this important slide. At the end of it, if you are offered a place, you have accepted it and confirmed it, there is still an important thing that you must meet, and that is the minimum entry requirement. For those taking O-levels, upon the release of O-level results, you must meet the minimum entry requirements for that course. The requirement for English, a requirement for the relevant subject, very often mathematics, and then the requirements for another relevant subject, and 26 points and below for net aggregate score. For any student who do not meet the minimum entry requirement, they will lose the EAE place. Then they have to go and take part in JAE for courses that they are eligible for. So this is most crucial. It is very painful to see some students losing their EAE place because they do not meet this requirement. So basically, the idea would be between now and September, October, there's time. Do work hard for your O-levels. Likewise, for those from ITE, your net GPA, you must meet our requirements. Good. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Ms. Kwan and Mr. Singh, for that sharing. I hope you've managed to gain some interesting information about TP and poly life, as well as gain some insider tips and advice on how to score a spot in your favorite poly and course.
We're excited for the next segment because you now get to hear from two guests who have gone through EAE for our parent and student sharing segment. They will be sharing their EAE experience and hopefully giving us some useful nuggets of tips and advice. Without further ado, let's welcome our moderator, Sebastian Sim, as well as design alumna Nicole Xiao and her mother and TP alumni, Lynette Cheng.
Very good morning, everyone. So exciting to see so many of you, but also a bit stressed, because it reminds me of the number of assignments I have to mark. But in any case, welcome. Thank you very much for coming down this Saturday morning. Allow me first to introduce these two lovely ladies on stage. Seated right opposite of me, it is Nicole, and she's the recent graduate from the Diploma in Communication Design at TP's School of Design. And she entered TP through the EAE process, and I think I can safely say that she thoroughly enjoyed her academic experience here in TP itself. And just beside me, her mother, and that's Lynette, and she will be sharing her perspective and insights as to Nicole's EAE experience as a parent. And we know that can be challenging at times. So very warm welcome, Lynette, Nicole. Thank you for joining us this morning. Definitely looking forward, I think I speak on behalf of everyone here, to hear some very candid and very genuine advice from the both of you who has gone through the process. Now, first up, Nicole, I want to congratulate you. You won recently the Indigo Design Awards 2025. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That award was for your project, which was also your final year project, which you did in your diploma itself. And it was called The Love Sick Clinic.
Yeah,
what
that's right.
was that about?
It was just my final year project about raising awareness about preventing STDs in Singaporean teenagers.
Okay, and you used that, or rather that was your final year project in itself.
Yeah, it was.
Wow. And I've heard even more exciting news. You have enrolled into NTU, and your orientation starts this July.
Yeah, that's right.
And you actually, I'm sad to say, I'm actually quite disappointed. You turned down my alma mater. So you had two offers, NUS and NTU.
Yeah.
What made you decide with NTU?
Honestly, I was more interested in the more like the design aspects of NTU compared to NUS, which I applied for communications and new media.
Okay, now let's step back a few years to the entire EAE process, which everybody's just waiting to hear from you. How did you decide this is where I want to go, this is what I want to do, I'm going to apply for it?
Well, I guess since young, I was always more interested in like arts and media. So cartoons, animes, movies, they were my safe spaces, especially during tough academic times, like studying for O-levels in secondary school. And I guess I was always just more drawn towards the arts and humanities compared to STEM subjects, which just didn't really click for me. And I guess from there, I felt like I was quite overwhelmed while studying for O-levels. I was juggling like 9 subjects at one point of time, and it just became quite clear to me that I needed some direction moving forward. And since I was more interested in arts and humanities, I decided, why not communication design? I thought it was a good blend of art, language, and storytelling, which was what I naturally gravitated towards.
All right, then Lynette, how about for yourself? Having your daughter come up to you, Mommy, this is what I want to do. I want to apply through this EAE. How did you take that?
I guess I wasn't surprised at all because she has always been quite drawn to creative work. So even from a young age, she's always been very curious, and she would ask me about the projects that I'm working on because I'm from the creative industry myself. So we got to have like hours and hours of talk in my room about art and design. So I think my reaction to her I think somewhere along maybe end of Sec 2 or mid of Sec 3, we had several conversations about this. So I saw that she had strong communication skills like she mentioned, so I wanted her to understand like the full range of options that were available to her. I encouraged her to do her research more into the pathway, which is communication design that she was interested in. So once she came back with findings and a clear conviction, I knew that she was quite serious. So for me, I think passion is key. And I saw that she has a lot of drive, and I was, from that point, quite happy to support her.
Were you extra happy that she was kind of following your footsteps?
Yes
going
and no.
To the same
yes and no.
industry?
Yeah, I think coming from the creative industry myself and knowing the kind of late nights and challenges, I had hoped that maybe my daughter would pursue her strong suit in humanities more than design. Yeah, so yes and no.
You knew all the pitfalls. You knew what Nicole was getting herself into because you're from the industry itself. How do you try to deal with those challenges that Nicole could possibly be facing?
At the end of the day, I think while there are challenges, there's also a lot of high points in the design industry. So I felt that along the way, I shared with her all this, and she was quite prepared and very passionate. Yeah, so I thought the best was to support her passion because I think passion is the one that's going to take you all the way. Yeah.
And we heard earlier on about the entire EAE process, the requirements. Nicole, I've got to ask you, how did you prepare yourself for the onslaught of requirements? We've got the interview, we've got the aptitude tests, we've got the portfolio you have to prepare. How did you get yourself ready for this?
To be honest, it was all a blur to me at that point of time. I remember scrambling to put together my portfolio, trying to dig out all the doodles I had, these like small little sketches I had on my textbooks, or just works that I did for my CCA or council, like school t-shirt or posters and banners. And I guess, luckily for me, I did have a hobby of drawing fan art, so it was a bit embarrassing to put in my portfolio, but it worked.
Yeah, it got you in.
Yeah.
What part did Mommy play in all this? Were you doing it alone?
To be very honest, I was quite tech illiterate in secondary school. I didn't have a computer. So I think the only software I really knew how to use kind of, was Microsoft PowerPoint. So I asked my mom for help to, teach me how to compile my portfolio, format it to make it look nicer. Yeah.
What was it like for you, Lynette? I mean, you have Nicole preparing for this major step that she was going to take. How did you try to coach her into this?
I think, like she mentioned, it helped that firstly she took O-level art, so she had a school portfolio. But I knew that was something that is going to be very repetitive for the panel, going through the portfolio is going to be the same old thing, right? So I thought maybe I encouraged her to maybe spotlight some of her freelance work that she did along the way, some of her personal projects, even travel sketches or works that she has done previously for CCA. So I thought that would actually demonstrate her initiative and also the love for her craft.
So aside from helping her craft out her portfolio for the submission itself, how else do you help Nicole prepare?
Of course, the nervousness will come in the interviews, right? So she didn't know what to expect. So we were looking through some typical interview questions and did a couple of mock interviews at home just so that she can feel comfortable, with the usual interview questions.
Even the mock interviews,
yes.
My goodness. Now, I've sat on those EAE interview panels as well, and I can only imagine how nerve-wracking it is for the students being interviewed, for this course that they're trying to apply for. Was it really as nerve-wracking as I thought it was, Nicole?
I have to say it was nerve-wracking because, as a secondary school student, I don't really do many interviews. It was all quite new to me, but I think with enough preparation, it wasn't so bad. I prepared by, looking through common interview questions like what are your strengths and weaknesses, what are your interests, your passions, and I guess I just went to research a little bit more about the course, what the CMD modules were like, how we were tested and graded. Was it pop quizzes? Was it written examinations or preferably projects? Yeah.
So I'm hearing a lot of preparation work, and it's not just you alone. Mummy was in. It's kind of like a partnership to prepare for this whole EAE process itself. And for you, definitely, it did pay off. If you look back, how was it like, the entire EAE experience?
I have to say it was quite daunting when I was doing it because there was a lot of guilt between splitting my time between studying for O-levels as well as preparing for EAE. But I have to say it was one of the best decisions I made because if nothing else, it was a huge mental load off my shoulders trying to figure out what exactly was I going to do after O-levels and whether my scores could meet that expectation.
And definitely, you went through, obviously, very successful in the application itself. How was it like when you got the news, Nicole, welcome to Temasek Polytechnic?
It was very relieving because when I was doing my O-levels, when I was studying for my O-levels, it did feel like I was walking on a tightrope. Any misstep, any small mistake could completely derail my plans for further education. So with the reassurance of there being a EAE safety net, I felt like I could really just concentrate on my immediate goals, which was just studying for my O-levels and trying to do my best. Yeah.
Lynette, when we got the news, the good news from Nicole itself, it must have been a weight off your shoulders.
Major. Yeah, I think, following I have an eldest boy in SMU right now, but essentially, I think all parents here would know, I think when you have accompanied your children through multiple examinations, through the years, you would, sometimes see them doing very well, and for certain years, the papers just doesn't suit them, and they would do not as expected. Yeah, so I think it's the same for the O-levels when you're taking one national exam and your entire 10-year education is assessed based on this one exam. I think the weight is really heavy, both on the parents and the child. So I think with the confirmation that she had a place in EAE, the school has welcomed her, guaranteed a place, barring the fact that she meets the minimum requirement, of course, it's a huge weight off. I could see it that the rest of the time she studied and revised more at ease. Yeah.
Now, Nicole, lots of students here would like to hear your advice. Any tips you can give to them about to start the EAE process? What can you offer them?
I guess if you have very clear passions and very clear interests to a subject, I strongly recommend EAE because, you know, it may seem like it's not really worth it right now. Like, you have a lot of things to do. You need to study for your O-levels, or N-levels. You know, it just feels like very overwhelming, but in the end, it will pay off because you'll feel lighter, you'll have a clearer goal, and, you know, unlike most people who finish their O-levels and wonder, oh, what school can I go to, or what should I do now? Should I go JC? Should I go Poly? You kind of really have that all like laid out in front of you already, so.
Now, Lynette, lots of parents here as well, and I'm sure they want to hear from you. What advice can you give for parents helping their child about to step into this whole EAE process? I mean, it is a fine, delicate balance, isn't it? Parents always knows best, right? You know what should be done and all. How do you balance that, between that and also allowing the child to have that kind of independence to make decisions based on their passions and their interests?
I guess at the end of the day, they have to decide for themselves. But I think my role is to ensure that she has done her research. If she's particularly interested in a certain course in a particular poly, he or she would at least have gone down for open house, have a look at the different schools and the course in particular that they're interested in, spoken to the students on duty or the lecturers there are all standing by, that they ask the right questions, get the correct information. And I think as parents, I think if you see the drive and that your child genuinely has that kind of drive and passion and done their research, I think pretty much you can be quite rest assured that they are on the right path.
All right, you heard it first, parents and students. Thank you, Lynette, Nicole, for your time. Very valuable sharing. Thank you so much. A big hand for Lynette and Nicole. And we've come to the end of the parent and student sharing, and it's time for us to hand things over back to the MCs, Kristen and Shauki. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nicole and Lynette, for the insightful sharing, and to Sebastian for moderating the session. I'm quite confident that you all have a better understanding of EAE from the perspective of a parent and student. We have now come to the most important part of the seminar today. This is where we will seek to answer all your burning questions that you may have about the EAE.
Let's now welcome our distinguished panel members, TPA CEO Mr. Peter Lam, Deputy Principal Ms. Anita Kwan, and Director of Academic Affairs Mr. Seng Chun Ling. A gentle reminder to all to submit any questions you may have about TP or EAE on Pigeonhole so that they may be answered in this segment. Now, should you have any questions about specific schools or diplomas, do keep hold of them, as your host later at the school tours will be more than happy to provide you with the information.
Good morning, everyone. Maybe just do a quick mic check, a sound check. Can the guests at the right-hand side of the auditorium hear me? If you can, just put your hands. Okay, that's good. Left-hand side? Okay, at the back? Good? Okay, that's great. Very warm welcome to Temasek Polytechnic. Thank you very much for coming over to TP on Saturday morning. I know it's not easy for young people to wake up so early, but yeah, really appreciate your time and effort. I was speaking to some students and in the audience, and a student was saying that this is the 5th time that she's here for the EAE seminar, and she's not the only one, actually. She accompanied her sister when she was P6, and since then, every year she's been coming over to the EAE seminar, and yeah, to the extent that her mother said, no, I've enough. You just come to the EAE seminar yourself. So thank you very much for being here today. So, and for those who are applying to TP for EAE and joining us, I want to thank you for placing your trust in Temasek Poly. This is a responsibility that we take very seriously. And that is why we pay a lot of attention to making sure that the students have a good experience in the classroom and outside of the classroom. In the classroom, we actually do put in a lot of effort to make sure that the training that we put our students through are relevant and current. So for example, when ChatGPT was first launched in November 2022, TP was the first polytechnic. They came out with a playbook for both staff and students in terms of how our staff and students can make use of ChatGPT in a good way to help them in their studies or to help them in their work ethically. And since then, all our courses have infused AI into the courses to ensure that our students are able to understand how to use AI in their respective fields of study. So this is important because our fundamental belief is that our students will not lose their jobs to AI, but they will lose their jobs to someone who can master AI and know how to apply AI. And that is why we place a lot of emphasis in making sure that we equip our students with a strong foundation in the courses that they are studying, and then know how to use AI to make themselves a lot more effective and efficient. And that, I think, has borne a lot of fruits. And today, when you see our students' project, really, they are quite amazing. I think our industry players who come and view our student projects during the final year, they are all very impressed with the quality of work that our students have produced. We also place a lot of emphasis on providing a wonderful experience for our students outside of the classroom, because personally, I do believe that the experiences that our students get outside the classroom in the CCAs, when they go on overseas trip, is very important in terms of helping them to develop useful life skills. And these are important skills that our students will need to build on, apart from the domain skills that they will acquire through their classroom experiences. So, like what Anita has presented, every of our students will have a chance to go on an overseas trip in TP. This can range anywhere between 1 to 2 weeks to understand more about the region, to do community projects in the regional countries, all the way to 6 months where students go for internship in countries as far away as US, Europe, Japan, to the more regional countries in China, in Vietnam, in Indonesia. So these are experiences that we feel are meaningful and useful for our students, and helpful for them to equip themselves with a strong suite of life skills that will stand the test of time when they go out to the workplace and into life. So we do all this because we want to prepare our students well for work and for life. For work, our students are highly in demand by the industries. Many of our students actually do get approached by companies towards the end of their internships to encourage them to stay on and work with the company. But many of them do have the university aspirations. So the take-up rate, the acceptance rate of those offers may not be so high. And many a times companies do come to me and say, hey, what happened to the students? How come they all disappear into the woodwork after they have finished their internships? Largely because actually many of our students do aspire to get into university, to go to university immediately after their studies, and many of them do go to the university. We want to prepare them well for life, and that is most immediately after the polytechnic education, or after NS for the boys will be university. And at least 60% of our students will move on to the university immediately after they have graduated. And when we survey our students 5 years after they have graduated, almost all our students will have gone through the university to get a degree. Out of the 60% of students who go on to university immediately after they have finished their diploma studies, close to 85% of them, or 50 percentage points of them, will get a place in the local universities. The rest of them will get a place in foreign university outside of Singapore, like what Anita shared in the slide earlier. Some of our universities do get places in very, very good universities, Cambridge, Oxford, Imperial College, and other universities in Australia as well. And some of them will move on to take up degree courses in our local private educational institutions. And I think more importantly, after our students have finished their studies in Temasek Poly and they have gone on to universities, they do very well. I do receive a lot of updates from my colleagues in the university on how well our students are doing, especially for those students who have graduated from universities. And quite a number of the graduates from the universities are from the polytechnics. And there's a data that is not commonly known. Actually, today, the local universities, 50% of their places goes to polytechnic students. And the universities do value having a diversity of students from different backgrounds, from the JCs, from the polys, as well as from people who have worked about 2 to 3 years in the workforce and reapply to join the university. And that applies to both the research-intensive universities like NUS, NTU, SMU, as well as the more applied universities like SIT and SUSS. So really for the students these days, there are plentiful of opportunities for them to pursue a study in the area where they are really passionate about, and to be able to do so at pretty high levels as well. After polys, going on to the university, or going on to the work first to gain a few years of working experience, and then going on to the university in Singapore, and after that contributing to the workforce. So we do all this really because we do want to, like what I mentioned earlier, we take our responsibility of the trust that you place in us very seriously, and we do want to make sure that we are able to prepare our students well for both work as well as life. So please feel free to ask any questions that you may have. We'll be very happy to answer your questions in this Q&A session. What we'll do is we will answer the more general questions about Temasek Poly, about life in the Polytechnic versus the JC, and later when you go and visit the schools, you can ask my colleagues in the schools, the school directors, as well as my faculty members about the more course-specific questions, and they'll be better able to answer you the kind of experiences that our students go through, so as to give you a clearer idea in terms of what you can expect when you join one of those courses as a student of Temasek Polytechnic.
So Peter, if I may jump in, you've definitely raised that question that is the number one very popular question about university, so the data is there. But I'd like to tag it on because the tag-on question is, are there any exemptions or partnerships with universities for direct entry? This one, perhaps Junan can also jump in. But the other thing that I was hoping that you could share, because it's something that's new, is our skills transcript. This is something that TP is also in the forefront, so maybe you can tag on the answers to that question in the skills transcript.
So many thanks for the question. So in terms of university progression, as I mentioned earlier, today, about 50% of our students do get a place in the local universities. That's on average. If you look at some courses, some of the courses actually as high as 80% of students do go to local universities immediately after they have graduated. And I would say that's probably even higher than some of the junior colleges. It really depends on the courses that you apply to in the local university. Some of the courses like engineering in the universities, they have a lot more places, largely because Singapore do need a lot more engineers, and we do place a lot more emphasis on making sure that we train more people in engineering as compared to other areas. And if you are studying engineering, or if you want to apply to an engineering course in the university, there's a better chance of you getting a place in the engineering courses. So for the students in engineering, for instance, if you do well, actually it's almost assured that you can get a place in the local university. So that is the current situation when we talk about progression of polytechnic students into the universities. And the universities, as I mentioned earlier, they do appreciate having students from different backgrounds. So the joke in the university is that when the poly students go on to the university, when they do projects, they always look for a project mate that is from the JCs, because the JC students arguably they can maybe write better, present better. Then the JC students, they always like to look for project mate from the poly, because when the poly students go into the lab or the workshop, straight away they know what to do and they're not lost. So the universities also appreciate that, and they really want to have students from a diverse background in terms of where they come from. Anita mentioned about, so the other part about university progression is that when the poly students, not just from TP, from the other polys as well, when they move on to the university, typically they can get credit exemptions, especially if you apply to a course that is relevant to the field of study in the Polytechnic. So for engineering students, for example, if you go on to take up a course in engineering in NTU and NUS, you can typically receive credit exemptions that's equivalent to 1 year. But I always remind our students and say, I mean, the funding for the government is for 4 to 5 years in university. Unless you are in a hurry to graduate, actually it's good to go for the full 4 years experience. But during your first year, you know, when you get exemptions for the credits, maybe just take other courses so as to broaden your perspectives and to really enjoy the life as a student at the university. So that is something which some of our students do take up, and they choose not to exercise their credit exemptions and go for the full 4 years. But I mean, we do understand that some students may be in a hurry to graduate due to family circumstances, and the universities do offer this exemption. Not all the universities, because some universities, they have a different mode of learning where they tend to focus more on the common year one for students from different degrees to come together. And in those kind of situations, there might not be any exemptions, but the preparation from the Polytechnic will still be useful for the students to be well prepared for university education. Anita also mentioned about skills transcript. Today, when a student graduates from Temasek Poly or from other polytechnics, they receive a graduation certificate as well as an academic transcript, which lists down all the subjects that you have taken in the Polytechnic and your academic grades. But Temasek Poly have felt that that is not quite so adequate because your academic results is just one aspect of the journey that you have gone through in TP. The other more important, I feel, aspect of the education journey that you have gone through in Temasek Poly is the development of life skills, your out-of-classroom experiences. And that is why TP, from next year onwards, will be giving each student a skills transcript as well. And this skills transcript will reflect the skills that you have acquired through your domain courses, as well as in the activities that you have participated in, so that you have acquired, say, communication skills, leadership skills, or cross-cultural skills. This will be captured in the skills transcript, which is another reflection of the skills that you have acquired in the Polytechnic. And when we run by this skills transcript and we tested this skills transcript with some of the employers, they actually felt that it's a very valuable document that can help the employers understand the students from Temasek Polytechnic a bit better in terms of the skills that they can present to the company if the company is to take them on as an intern or as an employee.
Maybe the next question, which is quite highly voted, what normally separates successful EAE applicants from other unaccepted EAE applicants? I think, Chun Ling, you would have seen the whole gamut over the years. Top tips.
Okay, first of all, be prepared when you get called up for aptitude test. The aptitude test is not meant to test you on specific knowledge of that field of study, but very often it has to do with inclination towards critical thinking, inclination towards thinking more broadly in that particular area of studies. Okay, so come prepared for that, or when you're doing it online for certain courses, be prepared for that. Be genuine as well, because we are interested in you as an individual. Okay, Okay, so the way you answer, let it come out from what's inside you in terms of your interest, and you'll come through. Likewise for interviews, don't be anxious about interviews. I know it's not something you're familiar with, but very often the interviewers are there more to get to know you. They want to understand who you are, why you're interested in the area, what is it that you know broadly about that field of study. You can be prepared, yes, check out our website, learn more about the courses, learn more about the careers that could be possible, and just think about one or two of them that you could have an interest in and share more with us on that. Okay?
So Chuning, this is somewhat related, this question. I'm interested in a particular course. However, my portfolio may not have much evidence of my interest. Do I stand a chance?
Okay, thanks. So the idea will be build it up. There is time to build up the portfolio. If you're interested in a course, but at this point in time, find that it's difficult to put in the evidences, just spend a bit of time to think about things, reflect, for students here, talk to your parents. Think about, if you're interested in that course, in that particular area of study, what have you done in relation to that? Have you read up more? Have you done some research on your own online, or watched some YouTube videos even? Have you done all that? And what is it that you have learned from those? Okay. If you think, I've not done very much in that area, well, there's still time between now and July, when we call you up for interview, to check it out more. Okay. So it's time, there is sufficient time for you to build up a portfolio as well.
I'll move on to Chuning, you're very popular. In terms of ITE, is there a limit to the number of ITE students that TP will accept for EAE 2025? If there is a limit, can we know what the maximum number is?
Okay, in general, each and every course can take up to 30% of the overall intake through EAE. But there is a group of courses, specifically all our design courses, all our IT courses, and some of our engineering, business, humanities, and sciences courses can go up to 50%, 50. So what will we do? We will try and mess it up, okay? As long as we can find good candidates to make an offer to, we will make the offer. So as I mentioned earlier on, we believe so much in EAE. We are going all out to find as many good applicants as we can and make offers to. Would there be a difference between O-level students and IT students? The answer is the places are there for all of you. It's a matter of come, tell us more, and we'll be very glad to learn and understand you more and offer to you as many as we can. Yeah.
So we don't put a quota on the number of places for O-levels versus ITE students, largely because we feel that the EAE places should go to those whom we feel have the aptitude and the passion for the course. So some courses, I think largely today most of the places do go to O-level students, largely because a larger number of O-level students do apply. The proportion of every cohort that goes to ITE, maybe it's about 20% every year, whereas the rest are from O-levels. And the numbers do reflect in the applicants for the EAE and also the offers on the EAE. But we do see very, very good ITE students applying for the courses, and we do accept many of them whom we feel have the aptitude and the passion for the courses.
This next question, boss has to answer. What makes TP different from other polys like SP and NP?
Come to TP and you'll find out. So before Temasek Poly, I was from Ngee but of course, I spent quite a fair bit of time in other parts of the civil service or public service as well. I would say TP, what struck me about TP is, I think, first and foremost, a very caring culture that we have in TP. I mentioned about the out-of-classroom experience in TP. That is something which I find to be really quite different of TP versus the rest of the other polys, we do organize a lot of activities for our students outside the classroom. And TP truly has a very vibrant campus. If you come to TP at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. at night, you still see a lot of activities taking place. And it's something which I really take a lot of pride in, because our students, they work hard in the classroom. Outside of the classroom, they also work equally hard, but in the respective CCAs, they do participate very passionately in sports, in arts, and it's really quite gratifying that actually many of them who participate in the art CCA or sports CCA, they go on to pursue a career in the art form, which I think is something that's really quite commendable. I mentioned about caring culture, and this is something which I feel really is the DNA of TP. Every class will have what we call a care person, who will see through the student throughout their 3 years in Temasek Poly, and they will develop deep bonds with the students and make sure that we are able to guide the students well when it comes to choosing of electives, as well as choosing of internships and their options after polytechnic studies. We also encourage our students to raise funds for students who are in need of financial assistance. So every year, twice a year, we have students putting up stalls, baking stuff, bringing their pre-owned their clothes to sell, to raise funds and money for their classmates who may not be as privileged as them. So this sort of caring culture in TP is something which I'm personally very proud of, and I think really differentiates TP from, I feel, the rest of the other polytechnic. I think the other part about that is unique in TP is we do offer pretty unique courses that the other polys don't offer. So law and management, for instance, is one of the very, very popular courses, and then TP is the only one that's offering that. Veterinary technology is also a very popular course. Psychology as well. When I was talking to quite a few students and parents who are seated at the humanities and social science segment, a lot of students are very keen to apply for psychology. These are courses which TP feels we want to offer, even though maybe the number of students that we can take in may not be many, but it meets the needs of the industry. It meets the needs of the industry, and it also offers a very good progression pathway for the students after they have finished their diploma studies to go on to university to pursue a law degree or to go out to the industry and work as a paralegal, for instance. So TP, I think we do pride ourselves in having such courses that really caters to the needs of the interests of the students and meet the needs of the industry as well. So I think that is, I feel, the other very unique part about TP. Yeah.
I'd like to echo what Peter has said, because I've also come from another polytechnic, and that really, when I first stepped foot into TP, that whole TP cares, you can see my badge here, it really resonated with me. And I'd like to also share, in terms of our student care and support services, we have also resources unit well. We all talk about mental wellness, student well-being. This is something that we take very seriously. So we have a lot of education and career guidance counselors, and also other types of counselors to help walk alongside the student as well as the care person, because it really takes a whole village. So we try to walk the talk on that. The other aspect, recently, as you know, we're having all these headwinds, right? Economy is not as rosy as we hope it would be for this graduating bunch. So we've started something called the Career Kickstarter Program to help our fresh graduates and also those who are post-national service to secure jobs. First of all, we have approached our industry partners to get positions so that our fresh graduates and post-NS can secure jobs. And internally, within Temasek Poly, if we can also find at least some jobs to tide over this challenging period, jobs that are not just, saikang work, but real jobs that are in that particular industry. If we can help our graduates do that, again, it's back to student at the heart of everything we do. But I think over and above all that, it's great that you're here, and also open house, hopefully in the past. It's important to feel that you want to be part of this culture. The vibes, walking around, talking to students, talking to our faculty members, just being immersed in the atmosphere. I think that also plays an important part, because if you are happy here, you're likely to do well. Yeah. Okay, which brings me to the next question, which is, what is the point of EAE if I still need to meet the minimum entry points criteria? Why bother?
Well, the important thing for us, like what Anita mentioned, we place our students first, and by doing so, it means that when we admit students via EAE, we do want to make sure that the students is able to cope with the academic rigor in the course, which is why all the courses will have a minimum entry requirement. For engineering and the sciences, it will be your science subjects as well as your mathematics. For law and management course, it will be your language, because these are areas which are very important to make sure that you are able to do well, or at least cope with the rigor of the course. And that's the reason why all the courses across the polytechnics have a minimum entry requirement. And if you're not able to meet those minimum entry requirement when you take your levels and you get results, then there are concerns whether you're able to cope with the rigor of the course. Of course, sometimes during the O-level exams, you may not be feeling well that day, and that affect your results. We do consider appeals, and sometimes we will admit conditionally some of the students who do not meet the MER. These numbers, I must qualify, will be very, very small. And how we admit this number of students who are not able to meet the MER after they have gotten their O-level results is we take a look at their past year's results, for example, and say that, actually it is really maybe because of the fact that on the actual day of the O-level exams, they were not feeling well, and hence they did not do so well for mathematics, for the math paper, for example. But all along, they've been able to do pretty well. And when they come into TP, they may need to do some bridging courses, for instance in math or languages, to make sure that we are able to level them up to a level which helps them to cope with the rigor of the course. Yeah.
Junling, anything you? Okay. Okay, this one is interesting one. It's related to the university. Can students go to Oxbridge or Ivy League schools from Temasek Poly? If yes, how? I was actually quite intrigued by another question about that's related, and I'll read it out as well. I'm given the impression from speakers in the seminar and even the questions that it is an advantage to go on to a uni. But can a diploma stand alone? Can I be successful in my career with the TP diploma? So both ends of the spectrum, Oxbridge, Ivy League, not sure you want to go to US now, lah. Plus a stand-alone diploma, plus of course our CET landscape, which is a very vibrant one.
So maybe the second question first, whether if you have a poly diploma, can it stand alone and you progress in your career with a poly diploma? Actually, the answer is yes. And the government is also trying to promote a culture within companies and employers that we need to hire based on skills and experience rather than qualifications. The challenge, I think, that we face, maybe less now, but maybe as early as 3 to 5 years ago, is that many employers do tend to use qualifications like a degree as a proxy for skills and experience, especially for entry-level jobs. And that's why many of the employers say that they put in the job requirements that they need the applicant to have a degree or a diploma in order to be able to apply for a job. But these days, Anita mentioned about Career Kickstarter, right? And we also do a lot of monitoring of the labor market through some analytics tools. And we do find that more and more employers have actually started to remove this line in their job requirements that they need, that if they want applicants to this particular position to have a degree or a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or a diploma certificate. More and more employers, I think, have started to remove such a requirement because maybe they are more confident now of being able to assess skills on its own rather than looking at qualifications. And we do see that in quite a few industries. IT industry is one in which we even have students who are really very good cybersecurity experts after their diploma course, and they are able to get offers from some very big companies, the likes of Google and things like that, based on the skills that they have acquired through the diploma courses, and hence get very, very good offers with very high-paying jobs. So that is one example. The other example, of course, is culinary, where we do have students who are courted by the Michelin star restaurants to work with them immediately after they have graduated from their studies or after their NS. Design students as well, because these are very skills-based and they can stand alone. And we do have alumni who have actually progressed very far in their careers. One of them is our board member, who is the CEO of a big PR and advertising firm, and that is really based on his diploma qualifications. He has never felt the need to go for a degree, really because the employer recognizes him very well for his skills and qualifications. So we do have students and graduates who have been able to do very well because of the training that they have received in the polytechnics. But having said so, I would say that actually after a few years, some of our students who have managed to get good jobs based on the basis of their diploma qualifications, they feel that maybe it's time for them to deepen their skills in certain areas, and they move on to take on a degree with either the local university or foreign ones. And that is not because they feel that they need to get a degree to get a better job, but because they really feel the need for self-actualization, to really deepen their skill in a certain area. First question, can Polytechnic students, can TP students get a place in Oxbridge, Ivy League University? I mean, we do have quite a few examples of students who have been given offers. Anita mentioned one. I think recently in the papers, there was this student from early childhood who managed to get a place in Cambridge and is now trying to look for a scholarship, to support his studies because he doesn't come from a privileged background. And we are trying to see how we can help him to secure a scholarship as well. Ivy League universities, yes, but the system in the polytechnics is better known in the UK, among the UK universities, as well as the Australian and New Zealand universities. So many of our students do tend to get places in UK, Australia, New Zealand, the Commonwealth countries, in a sense. Less so in the US, even though we do have students who are able to secure very good places in the US universities on the basis of the diploma qualifications. and I'm sure some of them maybe in some Ivy League universities as well. But you must also be mindful that in Ivy League university like Harvard, every year they only accept 2 Singaporean students. In Cornell, maybe the number is bigger, but it's also a handful. So the competition is very, very intense as compared to like Imperial College, where every year they take in about 100 Singapore students into the bachelor's program. So the difference in terms of the numbers also reflect the kind of what background the students would have to be able to qualify for the universities.
Thanks much, Peter, as well as Chun Ling. I know that you're probably quite anxious to proceed to the next part of it, but thank you very much for your questions. Thank you very much for even making your way here, and for those who have tuned in as well. And have a great rest of the day. I hope you enjoy your tours. Chun Ling and I will be around as well in case you have any questions.
Yeah. So thank you very much for coming over to TP for this EAE seminar. And like what I said earlier, if you apply for TP and get a place in TP to join us, thank you for placing your trust in us. So apart from today's session, you can also go to our website and access our chatbot to find out more about the courses that we offer. And anytime, if you have questions, please come into TP. We are an open campus. Please come to TP and ask any of our my colleagues, the lecturers, specific questions on the courses.
No
so thank you very
questions
much.
too big, no questions too small. Come
Yes,
and
indeed.
ask
So
us.
thank you very much, everyone, and please have a wonderful day ahead of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lam, Ms. Kwan, and Mr. Sung for that engaging and insightful session. Okay, I'm sure everyone here everyone here with us, as well as those tuning in via the live stream, have taken away valuable information to help you kickstart your EAE journey. But to sum it up, EAE is about passion and personality, and it really offers you and your child, a sense of assurance so that you guys can focus on your O-levels, knowing that a spot is secured for you.
With that, we've come to the end of the seminar, and to our audience, thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you in TP soon.
Thank you so much, and hope you enjoy your school tours.